Welcome to another 31 Days of Horror 2018 video. We are on to movie 2. And yet again, no Leslie here. She does tend to go to bed a lot earlier than I do, and therefore she is missing out on all of the fun. That being said, I decided to go into a film that I knew she would not like for two reasons. It is about an alien, and so it has a sci-fi element, even though sci-fi is more a creature feature than anything. She does not particularly like sci-fi. The other thing being that it is a micro-budget, shot-on-video production, and we are talking about The Risen, that half of this particular release here. The Risen. Essentially, this is a movie about a spaceship crash lands on Earth, and the alien, the Risen, I think is the name of the spaceship actually. The alien is essentially just going around killing people. It centers around a couple of main characters. One is like a CIA, FBI agent who's trying to, track down this alien or capture it or use it or something like that. Or maybe maybe he wants the space. I don't know. At some point he's talking about he wants something about I don't know. Honestly, his storyline is a little weird. It's not really explained. You don't know what he's really out there for. But, he's tracking down stuff based off of this alien. Maybe he's tracking the alien itself. I don't know. It's not really clear. Then you've got a cop who gets killed early on, but he's sort of investigating, the deaths and stuff. And he is dating this girl who's just sort of in there, not really doing much. But it's mostly based around this cop's father, who is either a Vietnam vet or a Korean War vet or something like that. And of course, because he was in the war, he's a drunk. There's flashbacks to him in the war and stuff like that. But he essentially goes on a quest for vengeance to track down this creature that has killed his son, and to take it out, essentially. The write-up, I'll read the write-up on the back here. Because honestly, you probably wouldn't get all of this information from just watching the movie itself. In 1962, a top-secret government agency designed a spaceship to explore the deepest reaches of outer space. So maybe that's what the CIA, FBI, space agency guy is trying to get the secrets for. I don't know. On its voyage back to Earth, it disappeared without a trace. Bum bum bum. 44 years later, so the alien's been on Earth for 44 years, and that's, I don't know. 44 years later, Jack Alder, a rogue CIA agent, has uncovered the government's dark secret. Okay, well there you go. Today, Alder is set to unleash an evil on this planet like nothing man has ever seen. Fueled by his own ambition and greed, he has devised a plan that threatens the fate of all humanity as he opens the door to something not of this earth. So, I guess he finds out about this spaceship, and he's the one who lets the alien loose? I didn't really get that from the movie, but I guess. I don't know. Caught in the chaos is Slade Hunter, a down-and-out ex-Special Forces soldier. He searches to put the pieces of it's his brother. His brother's brutal murder together. Oh yeah, it was his brother. Why was I thinking it was his kid? Anyway, so it was his brother who got killed. Even though it must have been a very younger brother. We'll just say that. Soon he finds himself battling for his own life against a band of mercenaries, government agents, and Earth's deadliest visitor. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, kinda. Yeah. So that's what the movie is about. Now, this film is from 2004, and it is a shot-on-video production. So we're talking micro budget here, but at the same time, it's not so bad. But that could be because of the director, writer, producer, editors duo of Brandon Bethman and Eric Sismier. Eric Sismier actually is also he is that brother, not the brother who gets killed, the brother who's the main character. Yeah, he plays Slade Hunter, and it's funny because he is one of maybe two older actors in the film. Most of the rest of them are a good few years younger, university age-ish, maybe mid-20s. And so he kind of stands out in that sense. But it is funny that he's in the film, but the co-director isn't. But whatever. I guess he didn't want to be on camera. There really is nobody of note in this film. The writer and director duo had done one film previously. I've never heard of it. You'll never have heard of it. Some of the people who acted in the film had been in that film as well. There was one guy who I thought looked familiar, Tony Grocky, but when I looked him up, he hadn't done anything that I had recognized or anything. In fact, the only one who's really done much of anything is, I guess, his little brother, Connor Grocky, who he played a little boy in this film, and when I looked him up, he had actually continued working in very micro budget pictures. Not a lot, but I'd say like one every other year or so, like that. He would be in a film that was released. So, and even up till I think 2018 was the last listing for him. So, go figure. The kid in the film is the only one who actually managed to make a go of it. Yeah, the film runs almost an hour and a half. I think it's like an hour and 20 minutes. It's a little long in the tooth. I'm sure there's a lot of it the whole CIA aspect of it could have been cut out. It doesn't really add anything to the film. It could have just been an alien crashes and these people in this town are essentially trying to deal with it. But I will give the film credit. It is, considering it is micro budget, there is some, I guess, CG work. There's some outer space scenes. There's pyro and smoke, and the creature actually looks pretty good. I was quite surprised. Like that, what you see there, that's a good rendition of the creature in the film. And so he does slice and dice and cut people up and stuff like that. So there is a decent amount of gore. I mean, it's not over the top, but there's a decent amount of it in the film, which I was quite pleased to see. Gave you something to watch. There's also a completely pointless shower scene. And that little boy I was talking about, it's his apparent sister in the film, who is an actress who got the part. As she gets a phone call after she gets out of the shower, and that's it. There's she gets killed, and honestly, she's not in the movie before. She's not in the movie after. There's no mention of anything relating to them. just in there to get a shower scene. So completely pointless, gratuitous nudity, which, you know, that's kind of what these direct to video, shot on video, you know, put them on the video rental shelves type things are you know, known for, I guess. Gore and nudity. That's the selling points, right? Being that it's, you know, a shot on video, micro budget. I mean, when you put it up against, say, like a Hollywood film of even of the time, you know, they don't compare. The audio is terrible. The picture quality isn't great. In fact, it's bad a lot of the times. There are scenes where it's shot in very, very low light, and of course the camera can't pick up what's going on. So it's almost. I mean, it's like a smidgen above just a black screen, which kind of sucks because some of those scenes were like where the creature's killing people. But I will give them credit. They had some interesting edits and scene transitions. Some moments where, and it's the same scene where they do a really bad job with just a stationary camera. It's almost like the director who, you know, playing Slade is shooting himself in one scene, and he just sets up the camera and does his thing, and then he's like, all right, done that. But then he gets some help a little bit later, I guess in the day or something like that, and it, you know, of course they edit it together, and the rest of the scene looks actually pretty good because the camera's moving, and, you know, it's kind of cut and fast paced. But it's funny how you can have such a huge juxtaposition of really, really bad camera work with some actually decent camera work in a film like this. Yeah, it's one of those things where I kind of wish I had been, you know, a fly on the wall and seen what was going on, so I would know why certain things were the way they were, why things were chosen to be, you know, done certain ways. Because I really do have a feeling that there were a few people who knew what they were doing when it came to this film, and a lot of people who didn't. And that's why you kind of end up with what you do. The film itself, story-wise, is okay. The story, the idea behind the story isn't terrible. It's not great, but it is there, which it says something, because a lot of these shot on video films the story it makes no sense. This one kind of makes sense. It is like it is a little hard to follow at times. Like I said, I don't even know what that CIA guy was doing really. It didn't really follow. He starts off the film and he ends the film, but like there's a whole middle section where it's just like, what is he doing? Was he a main character? Was he important? I don't know. And therefore it's kind of flip-floppy in terms of direction and the way the story is being told and the way it's edited together. Yes, it does come together as a whole movie, but it doesn't really flow in a way that makes it easy to understand. And like I said, there's scenes that just are pointless. I guess they're supposed to be the kill scenes, but you know what, part of it has to do with the fact that they have no budget, and so I mean, you know, there's a section of the film where, you know, like I said, the police, the brother police officer who gets killed, he's sort of doing his investigation, and right, so they'll have edit of a shot of a police car's lights, and they'll have the, you know, sirens going off, and it's just stationary, and they cut to him asking a question to somebody. Police car, him, doing something. You know, it's one of those things where it's like, well, they couldn't get an actual police car. And whenever he's getting into a police car and driving away, you don't see the police car. You just sort of hear the sirens and stuff like that. And the only time where they do actually, and I was surprised, I thought they were going to completely make it up, is, you know, like, you see him inside the car, and you're like, okay, he's in the police car. But no, he's just in a pickup truck. They actually show that, and it's like, okay, I guess he was at home, and he answered the call from home. He was just sitting at home listening to the police radio. I guess that's what they were going for. I don't know. Like I said, there's instances where you're just like, huh? That doesn't make much sense. And I think that's just a lack of experience here. Perhaps it could be a fact that there wasn't like a storyboard, or it was very minimal storyboarding going on. So they had ideas of what they wanted to do, but they didn't really have a clear vision, and thus, you know, they shot scenes, but they didn't have a real idea of how they were supposed to go together. And maybe that's what this is. Maybe that's what The Risen is. That's where it makes its biggest mistakes, is it doesn't really know where it's trying to go, what it's trying to do, scene to scene to scene, in order to tell the full story. And so it seems really choppy. Things are a little hard to follow. But it does actually make a complete film, which some of these don't. And it does have some semblance of an actual movie. Like, somebody had actual ideas and a concept to put this forward. Yeah, not going to win any awards. That's for sure. Not going to win any awards. Yeah, if you're a fan of the shot on video type stuff, I would say give the Risen a look-see. It is interesting. Like I said, it has some good gore, and the creature is pretty cool. But don't expect much, right? If I'm gonna rate it, I'm not gonna rate. When I rate these in terms of a, you know, the shot on video and how it compares to other films of the same subgenre, style, or whatever you want to call it, category. Because it doesn't compare to, say, you know, a Hollywood blockbuster. It doesn't even compare to a low budget feature film. Heck, it doesn't even compare to a really low budget direct to video release for some parts. It really doesn't. This is micro budget territory. This is you and I could pull this off as long as you had enough people, and outside of maybe the creature, if you didn't have that skill, that might be hard to pull off. The rest of it, you could probably pull together and just shoot it with your own little, like a video camera I'm using here, and make exactly the same thing, probably better. So in comparison to those, I'd probably say it's like a 2.5 out of 5. It does have some problems, but it's a lot better than a lot of the other ones. Not near perfect, but enjoyable for the most part. And I could tell what was going on in the grand scheme of things, mostly. If that makes any sense. Anyways, there you go. The Risen, our second movie of the 31 Days of Horror 2018. Yeah, if you've seen it, comment down below. Love to hear your thoughts about it. Other than, I think IMDb has one review, which I will give to you in case, you know, you are really curious. That review being, where is it? Oh no, it has more than one. It has 4, by the looks of it. Yes, 4 reviews. 1 out of 10. Extremely bad. This is one of the worst motion pictures I've ever seen. I said motion picture since you cannot call it a movie due to the lack of the story. We see different scenes with different people, but nothing sticks them together. Some of the characters appear only to be killed. Yes, but I mean that you get that kind of stuff in a lot of movies, right? Like, they just sort of show up and then somebody kills them. Or something kills them, especially in creature features. So you can't hold that against them, man. Though this should be an alien monster movie, we hardly see the monster. Well, not really. You see the monster, you probably see the monster more than you do in Alien. Go figure. Moreover, in the longest scene, we can see a nude woman taking a bath and caressing her boobs. Now, if I want to see boobs, I'm going to watch Femalian or Emmanuel or whatever, but not a horror film with aliens. I love that he puts in Femalian. Femalian. The only good thing in the movie is Megan Bouchard, who is pretty nice and acts quite good. Okay, that gives you an idea. I mean, and acts quite good. That's what we'll go to this. 2 out of 10, pretty bad. A U.S. rocket ship crash lands in a country town. Blah 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 blah. This movie presents itself as if it were a comic book, complete with a scene introducing the Risen comic book and comic panel segues sprinkled every now and then, which is annoying. Blah blah blah. The story itself is a bit eclectic and doesn't always gel together. At even just a bit over an hour, more could have been trimmed. He Netflixed it. It ended up on Netflix. I didn't know that. 1 out of 10. Dreadful quality. Warning, spoilers. The Risen is a dreadful quality, shot on video, sci-fi horror set in a small town, blah blah blah. There's very little in the way of gore here, and a gratuitous shower scene is as close to exploitation as this gets. It's very mundane. Picture quality is appalling. Well, this is a low version budget of Predator, except we don't see the actual killings, and they lace the film with comic book scenes to save money. The special effects were pretty bad, and it would have been a better film if they had used more comic book pictures instead of low budget special effects. The scenes are dark and mostly shot at night. A lot of screaming in the dark type of stuff. Poor camera action to go along with the stiff dialogue. Yeah, it's essentially like I said. It's, you have to know this particular category of filmmaking, and what it does. I mean, there are some that they manage to pull off amazing work with nothing. I mean, the Blair Witch Project is a 5 compared to this. But I mean, it really comes down to you're only as good as what you shoot, and if you don't know how to edit, it doesn't matter how much you shoot, it just may end up turning into crap. Anyways, comment down below. Love to hear from you. Till next video, take care. Have a good one.